So, we're staying with the Rantoni video. This is how Kung Fu became a joke in China. I guess not the worst person to talk about it. He was a Shaolin student, which isn't Kung Fu per se, but it is one of the traditional, martial art from China that's often seen as like, it's more like cool looking than actually good for fighting per se, you know what I mean? I watch the UFC a lot myself, and there's some guys that have a background in stuff like, a bit of Kung Fu or something, but it's obviously like never something that that's really what they use in the actual fights. So it's cool for movie, for fiction, but the styles, a lot of them are like not actual real life style, right? So yeah, let's see what he has to say.
Warning, what you're about to see is the power of real Kung Fu.
Hello, Adrian.
Now, why would a random old man know such devastating techniques?
He killed me just watching. 1 million followers. Obviously, like, I'm sure he's gonna talk about it, but the main thing I remember is the one, he was like an older guy, MMA fighter, and he ended up challenging a bunch of Kung Fu and traditional martial art fighters in China, and beating them because, of course. And then he was like really shunned by everybody because he was exposing the traditional arts and all that,
This here is China's most dangerous Tai Chi practitioner, known for his outstanding morals. A Tai Chi ball he calls a pressure valve in his palm. That's definitely not a tumor. Almost destroying notorious MMA fighter Xu Xiaodong in a duel.
That's the one.
But then pulled the most embarrassing and juvenile stunt to save his own skin. My favorite technique of his is when somebody throws a right hook, simply react by
just eating it. Oh, he's knocked out.
To the Ma Baoguo multiverse. This video is long overdue. Today I present to you the the god of Chinese Bullshido. Believe it or not, this man did such irreparable harm to the reputation of Tai Chi and Kung Fu within China that the CCP ultimately stepped in and shut it all down. Until this very day, nobody knows for sure. Was he just memeing the whole time? Little tricky, huh? Hop on this train, because we're headed straight for one of the most hilarious clown shows in recent Chinese history. It all started in the year 1825 when the Tang Dynasty... No, we're not doing this today. Ma's life before becoming a meme is not particularly interesting and we don't need a history lesson. But there is one detail you should know about. Ma comes from a bloodline of fighters. This is taken straight from his autobiography, so you know it's true. In World War II, his father relied on the ancestral Ma family boxing to achieve repeated victories against the Japanese.
Not guns.
He could run 120 kilometers in a day. Once, during battle with Japanese invaders, when the regiment commander was injured, he carried him on his back and used the lightness Kung Fu to run 5 kilometers in one breath. When Ma was but 3 years old, on a summer night, his grandmother took him outside to cool off when they encountered a wolf. She was terrified, but little Ma wasn't afraid at all and thought it was a dog.
Maybe he would have been good at writing manga, right? Or manhwa, I guess. Maybe that would have been a better career path. He's got some ideas.
I'm telling you this stuff because all these make dojo people you see merely adopted the grind. Ma was born in it, molded by it. He didn't see real fighting until he was already a man, and by then it was nothing to him but fast forward to 2001. He gets laid off and has a brilliant idea: teach Kung Fu to British people. He manages to move to the UK, but the early days were rough. He tried practicing in parks, he distributed flyers, and even performed on the streets with his son with very little success. But then he cracked the code. A lot of Western people very little success.
British people are very poor, they live like cowboys. What?
But then he cracked the code. A lot of Western people thought all Chinese were Kung Fu masters. So Ma used one basic Tai Chi technique called push hands to lure them in. He put on traditional Chinese clothing and pushed confused British people backwards.
He treats me like a child. It's unbelievable. So here's a demonstration.
Okay.
Talk a bit about this mysterious but undoubtedly
just
very
pushing
interesting
them.
Qi energy and the Dantian, and boom, paying students. He literally built his entire British Empire on this single technique.
Wow. Okay.
When Ma returned to China in 2007, reality hit him hard. In the homeland of Tai Chi, people weren't as easily impressed by a man practicing a basic Tai Chi exercise. His martial arts academy eventually closed due to lack of students, and for the next 10 years, he would live in complete obscurity.
Why did you not stay in Britain
And
then?
then came April 27th, 2017. The day that changed everything. Notorious MMA fighter Xu Xiaodong fought a traditional martial arts master known as Thunder Tai Chi in a private gym in Chengdu and knocked him out in 20 seconds.
Yes.
This sent shockwaves through China's martial arts community, and you've probably seen it by now too. Xu Xiaodong didn't stop there. He declared that 99% of traditional martial arts were fake, with only 1% being real, and challenged other industry figures to face him directly.
So we know it's coming.
Ma saw his moment. On May 2nd, he wrote a 4,000-word open letter calling out Xu Xiaodong's arrogance. And I have to say one thing here real quick. I don't know if you speak Chinese or if you've seen Xu Xiaodong talk, but the guy is a bit... how to say it? He wears his heart on his sleeve, to put it mildly.
Okay, I see.
He's a bit of a dick, okay?
He
No
seems
hate,
like
but the guy is
he's acting like a random thug in Yakuza. The Yakuza games.
really something. Some people dislike him for more than just his mission to expose fake martial arts masters. Okay? Let's leave it at that. In his letter,
Did
Ma
not quite
also
know that.
reaffirmed that Tai Chi is a natural
It's a good showcase, and now you never know the full story. I mean, the facts are the facts. It's still like bits the masters, but yeah, maybe there's more reason he's so disliked.
national treasure that must not be violated and that violators should be punished. And of course, he challenged Xu to a fight on June 26, 2017 at the Pudong swimming pool in Shanghai.
Swimming pool.
But here's where it gets even more hilarious. To prove his skills, Ma attached a video to his challenge letter. In it, he claimed to be fighting Peter Irving, a 90-kilo professional Muay Thai, BJJ, and MMA fighter from the UK. And in this video, you can see Peter appears very helpless against Ma's techniques, making multiple attacks before being easily thrown. And can you believe it?
The guy got paid $20 to like act like he's being beaten.
Some people called it fake and staged, which made Ma very angry.
你看一下那个录像，为什么他站在垫子上不走，还要和我摔？我不和他摔了，他做了个无可奈何的动作。你看看那个动作嘛。
Plot twist, Peter Irving himself saw Ma's portrayal of the whole situation and made a long blog post about it. Let me read you some short excerpts. There's an established protocol for martial arts demos. One person is essentially passive or offers an agreed upon attack, and the other person executes an agreed upon attack or counterattack in such a way as to allow the uke to fall safely or mimic the effect.
Oh, so basically, I guess he was told this isn't a fight. This is more like a demonstration. So like, that's why he was just like going along with the move to just see his demonstration. Okay.
Had the attack been delivered with real intent. Without a clear vision from Ma about what precisely he wanted to demonstrate, we ended up sort of busking it. Busking, I think, is UK slang for winging it. British people. I shared out the basic combination I would offer up so that he knew what to expect. Then I would deliver it to him. He would surprise me with a counter that he didn't explain in advance. Then I would try to sell it as best as I could without getting poked in the eye. And now comes my favorite part. Ma
Why did he hire like a pro wrestler? Why did he not hire a pro wrestler instead of an actual fighter?
himself was just a bit annoying and a bit weird. He'd flick mock strikes and gouges at my eyes and groan in the midst of conversation in a sort of could have had you there power gesture. This is such a Chinese master thing. Those of you who have been to China and talked to masters, even the ones that are legit, they always do this mid-conversation. Yeah, and you know this move. I don't know why. He had a large growth on the palm of one hand, which he explained was a repository of superfluity chi he had accumulated. I'm not a doctor, but it looked like a benign cancerous growth. Getting slapped in the face with it was a little creepy. Still, it was his show. He was the star of the movie. I was an employee, and frankly, I was glad of the work. So I just put his curiosities down to cultural differences and kept my manners in check.
I mean, if he's getting paid, I mean, I guess it's fine. Like, it's not like he took a dive in an actual fight. It's a showcase video, so it's like whatever, right?
Shout out to Peter Irving.
但这个 Peter 自己在社交媒体上说，那是一个他受雇收钱做的表演。
他开这种玩笑，照名家看啊，稍微名家内行一看那都是真的，不会说是假的。
But this was not the only time Ma tried to make people believe his Tai Chi
The way he's like trying to like hammer his dick. It looks so stupid.
was the shit at the
His
expense
little,
of
like,
real
movement.
professional fighters. When Chinese MMA badass Zhang Weili successfully defended her UFC title, Ma
Love
had the
it.
gall to criticize her fighting style because she hadn't learned traditional martial arts. When she hit others, she was also being hit. When he fought Peter Irving
One of my favorite fights of all time.
because she hadn't learned traditional martial arts. When she hit
Zhang Weili versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Watch it if you never watched it. Like, probably one of the best fights of all time.
others, she was also being hit. When he fought Peter Irving, Peter couldn't touch him at all.
Chinese internal 功夫 is
Internal
first
kung fu.
level In the what?
He then proceeds to challenge her to a fight, but only under his conditions. Wearing shoes,
She
only
would
2 minutes
destroy
on
him.
hard floor, and just touching. No real punching. He wouldn't want to hurt
She's so
you.
strong.
Brother, you're so lucky she
Yeah.
didn't accept that shit. But back to Xu
She would
It's
destroy
time
him.
for a real fight. On June 26, 2017, the Pudong swimming pool in Shanghai was packed. Xu Xiaodong arrived an hour and a half early to warm up. Ma arrived fashionably late with his wife, son, and posse. They unfurled a banner to promote his Tai Chi and posed for photos.
Okay. I always wonder with stuff like this, I mean, like the guy is really convinced that he's actually strong, you know? Or is he actually coming thinking that if he gets lucky he can win? Or is he coming knowing that he's gonna get knocked out? I mean, like all this fake master type, you know? I always watch video about them and I never know if they really believe it, especially when they actually do something like this, you know, get into an actual fight where they're fighting someone that clearly knows what they're doing. Like, do they actually think they're gonna win?
Just 2 minutes before the fight, shit was about to go down. The light suddenly went out. Somebody cut the wires. Oh no. Both parties were then told the venue wasn't compliant and didn't have proper permits. Even the police arrived and took Xu Xiaodong away for questioning on grounds of gathering to cause trouble. And just FYI, this was at the peak of Xu's popularity. The guy was getting detained by police left and right. So while Xu was being questioned, Ma seized the opportunity for a TV interview. He showed off the
So he didn't actually plan to fight.
calling it a Tai Chi ball, a high pressure valve in his body that helped him throw fast punches without getting dizzy. But Xu's team also seized the opportunity to relocate and find a new venue to proceed with the fight. And surprisingly, Ma agrees. But the moment they
like, this isn't even a sanctioned fight, like just fight in the street, right?
arrive at the new location, he refuses to fight because he says it was too late.
It's 5 o'clock.
Xu is still being questioned by the police until 8 p.m. when all martial arts schools in the area were closed. In the aftermath, both sides argued over who called the police and who cut the power. Xu claims it was Ma's nephew, Ma Bin, while Ma claims he doesn't have a nephew called Ma Bin. Kindergarten. But no matter what happened, there was no fight, no contest, until a fateful day. On May 17th, 2020, Ma finally got his chance to prove himself. But the man he was supposed to fight was medically disqualified right before the fight due to dementia, blindness, and being tied to a wheelchair.
Okay.
Just kidding. But his 70-year-old opponent did drop out and was replaced by the 49-year-old Wang. Ma was given the opportunity to drop out, but props to him, decided to proceed, which honestly was the right call. You'll see what I mean by that. This fight...
I was gonna say, like, isn't this other guy also one that the MMA guy beat before, so a fake master?
Legendary for all the wrong reasons. In less than 30 seconds, Ma was knocked down 3 times consecutively.
Maybe not.
The final knockout took only 4 seconds.
Damn.
Ma fell unconscious for 2 minutes while Wang stood there completely dumbfounded. And ironically, Wang practiced traditional martial arts too, specifically Xiniquan, not Western fighting techniques. This wasn't the same thing that Xu Xiaodong does, where it's like modern fighting styles destroying traditional martial arts. It was traditional martial artist versus traditional martial artist. And when asked about why...
I guess the difference is just that he can throw a punch. I mean, like, that's all you need to beat someone who does like his push technique that doesn't really do
he
anything.
lost, in an interview, he had this to say.
为什么我比武的时间这么慢的速度？为什么？我就让你说这个原因，什么原因？
我不知道。
我也不知道。我生气，我纳闷就是这个问题。为什么比我的时间我这个速度？就是我可以打这么快的速度，我这么快的速度，手都出不来。为什么？现在只有少数武林高手能说明这个问题。他们怎么说的？我不说。
This fight triggered an internet explosion. People made a deep dive on him and unearthed a video about him complaining about being sneak attacked by young people who didn't follow martial ethics.
这两个年轻人不讲武德。
His phrases like "I was careless and didn't dodge" became viral memes. From late October 2020, video platforms were flooded with Ma Baoguo remixes. By mid-November, Ma-related videos had over 660 million views. His previously unsellable autobiography was being scaled for 200 yuan, and his autograph was priced at almost $1 million. And on November...
So I guess at this point it's like, yeah, it's another case of even bad publicity is good publicity for some people. It's not always the case. It doesn't always quite work out, but clearly it worked out for him. I mean, clearly he probably made a lot of money of being a joke, so it worked out.
16th, Ma announced his entry into the entertainment industry, starring in a movie called Young Kung Fu King.
你会生气吗？
你看我去了吗？
But the party couldn't last forever. The memes weren't just limited to making fun of Ma himself, it spilled over into making fun and discrediting traditional Chinese martial arts too. Tai Chi took an incredible reputational hit being dragged through the mud alongside him. So, on November 28th, 2020, the People's Daily published an article calling the Ma phenomenon an ugly carnival that should end. Once the official tone was set, platforms immediately cracked down. Weibo disbanded all Ma-related groups and Bilibili removed almost all remix videos overnight. But Ma decided that he had found his calling. Despite the bans, he cleverly transformed his internet fame into a lucrative entertainment career. His nightclub appearances capitalize on his most iconic moves and distinctive Henan accent. He's basically showing off his beloved Tai Chi skills as a literal clown show. And even though he seems to be in on the joke, it's not entirely clear if people are laughing with him or at him. But I doubt.
I mean, if there was a plan all along, it's a long plan, you know, it took him decades to probably make money of doing this. So it's a long time plan.
But he cares. Money. Give it to you. Ma's journey in internet shenanigans could be seen in an entirely positive light. It brought him fame and money, and it brought Chinese people a lot of laughter at a difficult time. And sure, most people have moved on from it by now, but the cracks remain. Tai Chi's credibility as a martial art is now at an all-time low internationally and in China as well.
中国最大的骗术太极，最大的武林骗术太极。
And even if Ma wasn't the only one doing damage to his reputation,
meditation and martial art, right?
The top-ranked damage dealer. A lot of you guys might not be aware of it, but even in China, combat sports are rapidly on the rise. They're facing some obstacles because it's considered very violent and bloody.
Yeah.
And some people even claim it's like...
I mean, again, like, you know, in the UFC, there's a lot more great Chinese fighter coming in. Like, so far, the only big one is, you know, Zhang Weili. She's basically became a champion once or twice already. Like, she's by far the best Chinese fighter, but slowly but surely it's happening, yeah. There's a lot coming in and being pretty strong.
Rotten Western influence, but this is slowly fading away, and with it, traditional martial arts. And if I may leave you here at the end with my personal thoughts, as somebody who's practiced a lot of Kung Fu and switched over to combat sports a few years ago, some people today see me as the guy who hates traditional Kung Fu. That is not true at all. If you follow me, you know that I have so much love for it, still to this very day. I love nothing more than a clean form. It's one of the most rewarding and difficult sports to learn. My only issues with this world is twofold. Number one, a lot of people pretending it's some enlightened art that only super wise self-help gurus can teach you. And number two, people pretending it teaches you things that it doesn't. That's it.
Yeah.
Where's the hate? If somebody does Tai Chi and they say they do it because they love it and they enjoy it, it makes them happy, they socialize, that's great. Do that. There are plenty of good reasons to practice traditional martial arts. The only things that bother me is deception and delusion. That's all. Okay,
Sure.
that's the story of Ma Bao. Thank you for watching, and I see you on the next one. Peace.
I wish.
Have you ever heard of Mad Dog Fist?
And frankly, I do enjoy like the different form of Chinese martial art, like Baoguan, I think was called. I once read like a pretty long manga about it. And again, in stories and in movies, you know, like we all know the classic movies and stuff like that. Like even though it doesn't work in real life or something, it is really, you know, in some way very fun to watch for like fiction. So I think it's fine. It's just, yeah, like obviously the people like that guy, even though technically that guy is on the worst, right? He didn't really hurt anyone or anything. But you know, it's like the people trying to sell it as like, you know, it actually works. And while this guy was a joke, clearly, the sad thing is that there's a ton of like guy like him out there who actually have a ton of like vulnerable people who actually believe in that bullshit, and it never ends well, you know. That's what it is. So yeah, very interesting, very interesting. I feel like recently I've watched a lot of videos about this kind of subject, like fake, stupid martial art master stuff. There's a channel I really like called Napoleon Blown Apart. I was watching a lot of the channel recently. They do mostly like UFC documentary, but they've also had quite a few videos about like fake fraud and fake masters, stuff like Frank Dux and Comte Dante, which were like USA-based fraud master guys in the 50s, 70s, and around that time. I recommend this playlist. They're very long documentaries, but super interesting about very insane people. I mean, you know, it's fake martial art, yeah, but very interesting. So great video, great video. Super interesting. I really like this direction Rantoni has taken with this kind of like China culture videos where, you know, It can give quite a bit of context. I like it. Karate, me too. Me too. When I was like maybe 12, I guess, my dad really wanted me to do some sport for some reason. And I ended up choosing karate, and I did, I think, a year of karate. I went up one belt, which all you had to do was like remember a kata, which was like, you know, like a series of moves, stuff like this. So you just remember it, you do it well, and they give you an higher belt. There was never any practicing with other people, really. But yeah, I wasn't really into it, so I did 1 year, and then that was about it. Kickboxing, that's nice. Did you do a lot of it?